I said it was going to be an extraordinary draft, and I have a fun surprise for you guys coming up here. But it's stream draft number 140 for me of 2024. Of course, training camp is afoot. Xavier Worthy buzzes afoot, though now he's got strep throat and not going to practice today. Also, don't forget this part. I guess that's why you're watching the stream. Either way, I'm all in a draft room. Your fun surprise. Look who's in the 3-hole, the FantasyFlock. So we are going head-to-head versus the FantasyFlock today. Obviously, we've planned it long in advance. Then we have Mike Leone in here as well. So what did I walk into is the question we have afoot. Yesterday, sick Extreme Zero RB team built on stream. One of the better teams I think I've built. Though lately, it's been a really good run of building solidly correlated, well-built teams. Let's see if we can do it once again. Picking from the 4-hole. And Justin Jefferson would be my rank player. Jamar Chase, I am still low on. Could up my exposure there. Had Jefferson yesterday. Chase, not going to get his contract this year. Why not? Why not today a share of Jamar Chase? This inherently will make me like the team a little bit less. But Jamar Chase, I would like to be at 8%, I think, of him. Maybe 6 to 8%. But Jamar Chase will be our leadoff here. And maybe a 0 RB start. We'll see. Shout out to the chat, though. We're whooping that trick. Let's go, Spags. Beat that nerd's ass. Thank you, Thomas. Coming in hot and heavy. Means you have to do the voice for each of Flock's picks. He doesn't even do the voice anymore, so I'm not going to do the voice. If he won't commit to it, why would I? That's how I feel about it. I don't even remember what his old voice was. It was like, hey, I'm going to draft Jamar Chase around what? Oh, no, he wouldn't say that, though. He'd be like, why isn't Jamar Chase 3 running backs sitting on each other's shoulders? Jamar Chase running back man. He wouldn't make that kind of witty kind of repartee, of course, but those are the kind of things he would say. Puka Nacua goes in the 9-hole, AJ Brown in the 10-hole. Interesting to see here. Maybe some badges flattening out their exposure, as I did with taking Jamar Chase. Will Marvin Harrison fall all the way back to pick 9 to rub it in my face further with another Puka Marvin Harrison combo? Let's see. This guy takes 2 Niners receivers, thinks he's having a fun time being unique. In reality, he's only opening up a lot of value for other guys. Jonathan Taylor goes at 14. Badgy room, really reaching for dudes that normally don't get reached for. It's going to be hilarious if this guy's going to be able to get, like, he's not going to take it, or if he does take it, it's not going to be that unique. This guy's going to be able to get Puka and Marvin Harrison at pick 9. Unbelievable. And just like an auto click for him, the fastest click in history was this guy running to the podium to get his Puka Marvin Harrison share. Unfucking believable. Another Puka in every stream. Somebody's getting Puka and Marvin Harrison. I'm having a morning, guys. I've been dealing with AT&T this morning because they double charged me last week, and funds are low right now. Just paying for probably for months without making real income has been tough on me. So like getting double charged for your phone bill is like a pretty decent chunk of money to be coming out of an account. So I had to like deal with them. They then don't like auto catch it, which is like what most companies do. And it happens so frequently. They have like an automated process that is like awful. I'll talk about it in a moment, but it's like I have boomer complaints is where we're going with this one. We have Jamar Chase here. Pick by ADP would be Devontae Adams. Pick by my rank would be Devontae Adams. So I guess the pick is just Devontae Adams. Not one of my favorite players to get because we are certainly lacking in QB options later on. Could make the bet on AOC, on Aiden O'Connell. Could make the bet on Gardner Minshew. I think it's still coin toss situations which one starts. Maybe a little bit more favoring AOC at this point. But AT&T, like you basically, so you call AT&T, it's all automated now. It's all really bad AI that doesn't want to give you an operator. Then they redirect you to a refund process if they double charge you. That is going to take days. And also like it keeps closing the ticket over and over again. And like the interface is broken and also not coded out all the way to the point where they have the fake Latin stuff, the Lauren Ipsum things on the website. It is awful. I've been an AT&T customer since I was like, I don't know, like right out of college. One of the worst experiences I've had in a very long time. And that the boomer part of it though is like back in the day, back even when I was in my 20s and didn't want to call people, like you could call a company and get your shit resolved pretty quickly. And maybe you still can with AT&T, but they make it so hard to get through it all. It's like it's just scumbagginess to the point where it's like, wow, are they like trying to fuck me? Like, are they going out of their way to fuck me a little bit? That's how it feels. Anyway, that's my rant. Spags talking about 12-hole picks like he's someone. Thanks, Brett. You're watching my stream, but feel free to not be here. In fact, here, run a lap, Brett. Come in with a better attitude or don't be here. Really don't give a fuck, idiot. You're a really unique combo there. The guy who's coming down to the third round, you're doing really fun stuff. The 1-2 turn, emotional. Get out of town. All right, we got the start here with Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Leak Neighbors, Devon Achane. Kind of interesting at this point, falling a little bit in this room for seemingly no reason. Though drafting an RB next to FantasyFlock feels like it could be a betrayal of everything we believe. So we're going to take Leak Neighbors here. Can you imagine the butthurt this guy had? Get out of fucking town, dude. Come back in 5 minutes and maybe tell me who you are, because I don't know you either. But you know me. Must be hard. But keep reaching for Debo and Brandon Ayuk, though. Definitely great when you see Brandon Ayuk going at 30 in some rooms. Take him at pick 13. Have some fun. Why not? Anyway, this is the start. This is my morning. This is my live. Greetings, Earthlings. Our guy Tim here. Appreciate that. Got Vadim. AT&T sucks ass. Most telecom companies do, but they were right at the bottom. Yeah, it was honestly jarring how bad it was, because I've dealt with AT&T before, and like you at least talk to somebody on the phone and like solve it like decently bad. This felt like deliberately obtuse in a way where I've not dealt with in a while. I don't know. I'm not not to get political here. It almost feels like there should be something that stops companies from making it really difficult to address things that they do incorrectly. But that's my boomer. It's Spags' boomer corner here on a fine Tuesday, wasting an hour dealing with it. Oh, there we go. He's taking Zay Flowers. He's getting more unique on top of this Niners duo. It's fun. It's fun to have somebody also come in and make me hate them immediately within the first 5 minutes of the video. Always a fun start. Like I'm someone. Did he miss the Chiron in the beginning of the video? He must have. Hey, George Pickett's at 37. Another guy probably coming down. Go grab him. Love to see it. 9 spots having a lot of fun. He might go Trey in round 4. Hey, no complaints there. Training camp news floating around out there. So Jamar Chase, the guy who I took at pick 4, not going to get his contract this year. I'd mentioned that up top. Mike Brown, the owner there, gave his once-a-year press conference he gives to the media. I guess not even a real press conference, just talks to them in the locker room. Jamar Chase, they value very deeply, talk about him like he's a very special guy. That said, they're not going to give him the big money this year. Chase, too, I think would theoretically benefit from CeeDee Lamb setting wherever his market is. Jefferson, we already know that market. Maybe a Tyreek extension, renegotiation could be in play as well. So Chase could only increase his value with one more good year here. Losing Higgins, too, potentially after this year. Probably makes sense for Chase to not push out or not try to hold out and push for getting the contract this year. But either way, it does seem like the Bengals don't want to do it unless he's coming for much cheaper. And besides that, I feel like those were the biggest news items yesterday. Caleb Williams, a decent practice where the Bears defense kind of seems like it's giving him trouble in a way, which maybe you could have some vague concerns, but who knows? Trey McBride comes back here. We got Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors. Do love McBride. Do you think, again, we're drafting next to the fantasy flock. I think let's keep taking receivers. He's not taking RBs, which is really throwing me for a loop here. I thought the whole bit was that this guy fucking loves RBs, and now he's going 0 RB. He's taking Lamar first, so all right. He's not trying to do, I guess, or he might be trying to do the Lamar Andrews thing, but he's doing it backwards where you should take Andrews first. He took Lamar first. There you go. Maybe it's on the customer. Stop being a customer if you don't like it, I guess. I mean, I guess that's true of most things. You can always leave, but it is annoying for a cell phone thing to have to move companies, especially for me. I'm still on a grandfathered unlimited data plan. So, like, I don't know. I don't really want to move. You don't have to deal with them that often, but when you do, like to have it be that awful of an experience. Takes less to retain a customer than it does to get a new one. It's always the lesson. Another boomer statement, but it is true. Like starting my morning with a little Spags rage bait. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot to rage on. This guy coming in here talking shit to me like he's fucking unbelievable. In the first 5 minutes. And I have to draft alongside one sharp drafter and one guy who had a fake voice. It's a lot. It's a lot to throw at me in the morning here. But we got a Chase Adams, Neighbors, Kirk start. Unique, if nothing else. I mean, unique for my portfolio. Probably not unique in terms of the overall perspective of things. Despite not doing it the smart way, FantasyFlock does get Lamar and Mark Andrews together. So, again, a very cozy build for a lot of people on there. Cool for them. Discounted Terry McLaurin. You know what? I'd be happy to build a Jaden Daniels build right in Mike Leone and the FantasyFlock's face. So, Terry McLaurin, come on down. I'm just going to be, at a certain point, I have to go on a run of no commanders in any draft. That point's not today. Team so far, 5 receivers start here. Don't think I'm going to do extreme 0 RB on this one. Was tempted maybe by AR a little bit to build out Indianapolis and the Giants, but really think McLaurin here, a little bit of a discount. I think at some point McLaurin starts to creep up to the low 40s, but who knows? All right, Brett, fair enough. You're back. 12 hole sucks. Getting different there is fun. I get it's fun. I think it's not necessarily the time to do that at mid-July. You're going to have a lot of time in August where you can flatten out exposures and shit. But you can do whatever you want, Brett. Just don't be mad at me if I call out that I don't necessarily think it's plus EV to build that way. That's all I'm saying. It's my job here is to point out shit that I don't think is plus EV when looking at streams. So I'm sorry that you are personally aggrieved by it. But I hope you have a great draft, Brett. You're building 0 RB, nothing else. I'm excited to see that. 7 spot reaching for Jaden Reed was not the move. Probably could have got him in the 5th. Yeah, I mean, I think for Jaden Reed in general right now, he's going downward because of the fact he's not playing. Yesterday, the starting group, for what it was worth for the Packers, it was Romeo Doubs with Christian Watson, with Dontavian Wicks. The assumption is that Wicks is the one filling in for Reed not being out there. That was a starting trio. As I've said enough times on stream, do fundamentally believe here that the upside for Dontavian Wicks is one of Watson, one of Doubs, one of Jaden Reed coming down, not being used as much. Obviously, it's day 1 of training camp, basically. No Jordan Love on the field. Doesn't really matter. The Reed's not out there. But I think that just shows the Wicks bet as I see it, which is that Wicks basically has to take somebody's job. Somebody has to get hurt for him to get there. And if he's going to, and if Reed's going to be out, then Wicks comes in. Draft is loaded. Rooting for Spags to bully the big dogs. I hope so, Big Sonny. I hope so. We'll see. Christian Watson going at 63 in this room. I love Christian Watson. That's new. that's a new one. What is his ADP at right now? I think he's coming up to the 70s, right? No, he's okay. He's gotten to 68. So not as bad of a reach as I would have thought. Man, I love Christian Watson. I am surprised to see that after the people feel like he burned them pretty badly last year. Mike Leone getting some elites at every position. If you want to follow somebody who I would say, knows the data as well as anybody out there for sure. Optimal data, optimal builds. Crazy that I moved the draft time to get softer rooms and I end up with one with Leone. That's my luck in a nutshell. All right, so AR doesn't come back. Was hoping we had a shot at maybe getting him coming all the way back to us, but that's not going to happen here. Correlation-wise, we do have the Jacksonville bet. Didn't get elite tight end. Evan Ingram at 69 doesn't feel too bad. Could build another extreme 0 RB team, but I didn't really set that up in the way that I want, where I do want a little matchiness for week 17 correlation in the first few rounds. If I'm going to go extreme 0 RB. Check out what I did yesterday, though. I do think that was a good example of like an extreme 0 RB build that I felt really worked. This one, though, we will deviate, leave us some flexibility for receiver, and take Evan Ingram here. So theoretically, have a Jacksonville bet going right now that would be benefited by having Trevor Lawrence. And if I don't have Trevor Lawrence, whatever. Fucking all badges over here and then a badgeless corner on this side. So this side could be the wild card area, or they could just draft fine. They could just draft perfectly fine teams and not upset things too much. But maybe it doesn't bode too poorly for me here. FantasyFlock scooping Rachaad White at 70. He just couldn't help himself. He couldn't help himself. If there's a guy with zero juice who got a lot of volume at running back, FantasyFlock is there. Can't stop drafting Terry. I'm at 42%. Look, same boat. Worries me still, just the overexposure to a team that this is not a populist take. But that said, the populist takes are like Kansas City, who just won a Super Bowl. They're going to start really airing it out this year after checking it down a lot last year. I think they're going to be more efficient airing it out, but that's a chalk bet people are making. That's like a high ADP priced in bet that the Chiefs are suddenly going to be world beaters throwing for 400 yards a game. For the Commanders, it's not priced in at all, like really. So I'm okay with the bet, but that is, we're running counter to the public in a major way for sure. And I am as well. Kenneth Walker falling in this room. Not one of my favorites. I keep scooping him as a value, but I prefer to do it when I have Seattle stuff. Ramondre does fall in rooms sometimes. Ugh. It's not the pocket for anything that really makes sense to build out. I'll scoop Walker again. Just not huge on it, but he's here, so it's fine. 6-pick discount or 7-pick discount on Kenneth Walker. Our first RB off the board. I guess technically would make it a hero RB build, even though I really don't think Kenneth Walker, he should be part of a 0 RB build, really. But we have him, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Evan Ingram, Trevor Lawrence stack still in play, Jaden Daniels still in play, and unfortunately, Seattle, Kenneth Walker in play. Profitable every year drafting best ball teams. Even last year didn't make the BBM final. Drafters made me profitable last year, yeah. But yeah, I guess the 2 years I've won 50 max, I've been profitable. So playing on multiple sites, maxing out DraftKings and Underdog helps. But yeah, the drafters finishing top 110, that carried pretty much everything. Walker in the 7th. It's better than Walker in the 6th. Still not the biggest fan of it. I mean, last year he played less passing downs than DJ Dallas, I believe is what, or less third downs in passing situations than DJ Dallas. That's not great for Kenneth Walker. New coaching regime could go either way. Maybe they lean more on him. The flip side could be they fall in love with Zach Charbonnet. You have Charbonnet out there for him getting the 60-40 split of snaps, if not touches. But Walker getting red zone work, I think, is still going to be in the cards. Walker breaking the occasional 75-yard touchdown, still going to be in the cards. So he's okay, I think, in the 70s. Think he could go in the 80s, and I'd feel a little bit better about him. Honestly, probably would take Walker a lot more in the 80s, but here to discount 76. We'll take him. All right, RB run here. Jonathan Brooks, not getting spooked off by him right now. Taking him at 81. Feels like Brooks should be getting a little bit of a dip for starting on the PUP list and people finally catching up that he did have an ACL tear in November. But he is still going right where he's been going. Technically a little bit ahead of where he's been going with Brooks at 81. Camp-wise, anything else out there that's worth even mentioning? Hassan Reddick holding out for the Jets. Don't know that matters too much. Jets, though, quietly a little more dysfunctional than it seems, which doesn't make me feel bad about my anti-Jets bet. Kyler Murray goes 87 here. I think that's important to note because people are dying to take him in the 60s in some drafts. You're better off just letting him come to you. And this guy, not a good team. Never mind. Thought he was the Puka Harrison guy maybe, but he's got A.J. Brown with Hurts. He takes an unstacked Kyler Murray. Probably not the move. Not enough of a discount on Kyler to take him there. Really like grabbing a Chiefs wide receiver without Mahomes. The only way to stack now is to reach ahead of ADP and don't think that'll be a plus EV move. I think taking one Chiefs receiver is fine. I think taking two when they align for you in ADP is also okay. But I do strongly believe that Bowers goes at 91. Bummer. Guess not that we would have stacked up Las Vegas. But yeah, I think taking one receiver to me from them feels like the best move. All right, so we have a 0-1-5-1 here. Zach Moss can up my exposure there. We do have the bet on Jamar Chase. I've got enough Chase Brown as well at this point. I'll take a shot at Zach Moss here. Going to get Jaden would not be a crazy thing either. I'm going to let, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back to you, it's meant to be. Is going to be our angle for Jaden right now. And if FantasyFlock scoops Jaden right in front of my face, I will laugh. I will laugh and go, wow, he might have one good team this year. That's how I feel about that. But Zach Moss, when we have Jamar Chase, I think it makes sense. Consolidating touchdowns between those two guys. I think having Chase Brown works a little bit better. It doesn't really matter. You can have him with Jamar Chase too, but I do think the bet, I can logically say, oh, Chase Brown's going to suck pass game production away from Jamar Chase somehow. And I think that could be a credible thesis for why Chase Brown excels. DeAndre Swift goes at 96. I would have been tempted to take him to have both sides of the RBs potentially in week 17, Seattle, Chicago. But decent discount on Swift. Swift is coming down. People are fudding Swift down. I don't think for any particular reason. You got the big money. I think it's like people wish casting Khalil Herbert is almost making them knock DeAndre Swift, even though I don't know, we need more camp reports as well of Swift just being out there for every play, I guess. Lockett goes. Mostert goes. What are we getting back? Pollard goes. All right, well, Joe Burrow's still here. I do have Joe Burrow ranked behind Jaden. Higgins drafter is where? Higgins drafter is over here. but they already have Mahomes. I've not gotten a share of Burrow in BBM so far this year. And it's not going to happen right now. It's Jane Daniels season. I think Jane Daniels beats Joe Burrow 14 out of 16 weeks heading into week 17. So we're going to go Jaden here. Going to increase our Jaden exposure at this point. If you as a market out there aren't going to make Jaden's price tag come up, I'm not backing down. And we do see Burrow fall enough in rooms. That is my logic. I have not seen Jaden come to 117 very often. I have seen Burrow go later. Do you think the Higgins draft will be tempted to pair him with Patrick Mahomes? But realistically, nobody else here has too logical of a reason to take Joe Burrow. So we'll either get them both or we'll get Jaden and we'll make the bet that Jaden's going to absolutely smoke Joe Burrow in the end. I think the Chiefs shocked the world in 2024, back-to-back difficult Super Bowls. It's time for them to destroy the field. Is it really shocking the world when these guys performed fairly poorly in fantasy last year, especially Mahomes? And then they're still going basically where they were last year, and people are touting them as this electric offense when they when they had a new OC come in and greatly drop their average depth of target. Why is it going to change? I think the bet right now that everybody is making is that the Chiefs are going to change and it's going to suddenly be a lot more efficient downfield. In reality, I don't know what's going to happen. Burrow goes 107 here. No correlation for this guy. Unstacked Burrow at 107. What does it do for you? I don't think much. I don't think it's a good pick, personally. You can say that I should have taken Burrow, but Joe Burrow, I don't know if you guys saw, crew cut now, shaved his hair. He's lost his aura entirely. So how can we do that? It's like Samson. It's like Samson losing his strength. But honestly, though, Jaden Daniels over Burrow all day. I really do think Jaden will outscore Burrow most of the year. And that's, barring injury, of course. With the bet on Chase, you could make the bet on Burrow. But hey, we got Zach Moss as well. So maybe there just isn't a ton of passing TDs that go Joe Burrow overall. Maybe just Jamar Chase soaks them all up and everything else goes Zach Moss's way. I think that's the bet you could make for this team. Let's give the team a read here before we get to our next picks. We have a 1-2-5-1. Jaden Daniels, we're not backing down. Kenneth Walker, a little bit of ADP value, looks a lot better at 76 than he does in the 60s. Zach Moss, we have a pick 93. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, and Evan Ingram is tight end. So obviously some options coming up here. We had other QB plays to make besides Joe Burrow. I'm happy to make them. In reality, I learned the hard way you never bet against Mahomes in the playoffs. Fantasy football, you could bet against them plenty. He had one 20-plus point game in the back half of last year that wasn't in the playoffs. I think it's very possible to bet against Mahomes. Again, doing the thing that a lot of great QBs do. Leone takes Trevor Lawrence to pick before me. So fucking got sniped. He does have Brian Thomas, though. But there you go. A little bit of a Trevor Lawrence discount. I think Leone has a pretty big bias for him based on what I know. Chase Brown is here. Vaguely interesting. Dallas Goedert does nothing for us. Javonte, kind of interesting for the bet that we have with Denver and Cincinnati. We'll do it. I'll take a Javonte share here. Still think Estime is the play. I put Audric Estime in the thumbnail yesterday. I've been in the bag for Audric Estime for a while. But we'll take Javonte here to shore up the RB room. Give us another part of Cincinnati-Denver, theoretically, assuming Javonte doesn't get cut or completely get phased out of that backfield. Would have rather had Trevor Lawrence at his ADP, but Mike Leone said, no, no, no. You're not allowed to have that. Good point. Nick Chubb at 114. The casuals arrived. Yeah, Adam Levitan had a good thought process on that one on his market show that he did, basically talking about how Nick Chubb, we're seeing him, same thing I've said, you see him lift weights. It's not him cutting. It's not him moving laterally, which are the things you really need coming off an ACL tear. And yet that is enough. Him with the bar bending, as somebody in chat said the other day, did you see the bar bending? I saw the bar bending. It's just, these are things. These are not real signal things. Solon, you're defending this, and I'm not saying this to be rude to you. You're defending this like it's a unique take you have. It's, in fact, exactly what the market thinks is going to happen, which is why it's really not the most logical thing to bet on to me, because if everybody thinks the thing is going to happen that didn't happen last year, you shouldn't be chasing it into really high ADPs. It's fundamentally how I'm going to feel about that in most situations. All right, we got 3 running backs here. Not a bad pocket to add one more on. Austin Eckler, I don't mind. Blake Corum doesn't really work with this build. I would take him if we were correlated. We do have Kenneth Walker, so Zach Charbonnet is not an option. I think AD Mitchell here. Bring back for the Giants stuff without AR is probably going to be unique for me. So I'll go AD Mitchell, wide receiver 6. So it's a 1-3-6-1 build here. Have to hit RB a little bit more, but I think we'll be able to do that in the next few rounds. We have Jaden Daniels, Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Javonte Williams right at ADP, which doesn't feel right now. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, and AD Mitchell. And a tight end, Evan Ingram. Got sniped on Trevor Lawrence. What are we going to do? AD Mitchell also opens up Danny Dimes. Yeah, Danny Dimes has been open for, I think, in my mind, for a while. Especially now that we got sniped on Burrow. I mean, look, we gave Burrow up to ADP. Definitely got sniped on Trevor Lawrence, though. That one was a legit snipe. The Casey thing is similar to the Pitts thing, except, okay, it's similar in terms of it being priced in. It's different in the fact that Pitts has never had a competent offense, never had a normal NFL offense that passes at a usual rate, and a QB who's going to feed him with volume. So for Pitts, that's a logical buy-in. For KC, they changed nothing. Like, it's not like they brought in a new coaching staff. They added some weapons for sure. Like, I think Marquise Brown is going to be a more efficient version of what MVS and Justin Watson were doing. I think Rashee Rice is going to be there underneath, and Xavier Worthy is going to do maybe more fun stuff than Kadarius Toney did. But it doesn't mean the offense is suddenly going to be throwing for 300 yards a game regularly. Like, I just don't think that's necessarily how they want to play. The defense being worse, like, defense is one of the least sticky things year to year. So if you want to make the bet for Casey's offense being better, the defense just being worse is certainly possible. But schematically, they did a lot of good stuff defensively that wasn't quite Ravens-ish, where the Ravens basically play like this, positionless defense. But they still did enough there, I think, schematically, that wasn't just, they lose a couple players. They're going to be so much worse. I don't know. We'll see, though. Defense, again, is not sticky. So you can make that bet on both sides, but it's priced in. Like, it's all really priced in. It's priced in. A thing that didn't occur last year is priced into this year. I think Pacheco's good. I worry a little bit about the Kadarius Toney playing with the RBs and the backfield stuff. He does the interesting things that they would do with McKinnon, that he actually might be more valuable in that kind of role than he is as a wide receiver, with the sins of the past catching up with him a little bit. But yeah, I think for me, I don't mind Pacheco. I think he's still a good bet. I think he should come down, though, with reports of Toney being used there a little bit. Toney being used there almost kind of shows that they're not sold on Pacheco getting all the pass game work, which does kind of inhibit the bet. And he could be driven up a lot if he had that role. But I think with where he's priced right now, he's okay. He's still okay. All right, so another pick coming up here. Some of our favorites on the board right now. ADP wise, the pick would be Mike Williams, but he is not a guy I really need any of, and we're not correlated there. Just keep adding Marshawn. I think it's just keep adding Marshawn. Unfortunately, at this pocket especially, I'm okay with Ty Chandler as a tie break. Kendre Miller, I think, should be maybe a little bit lower. If Kamara is going to be back in practice, we'll see. I don't know if he's actually going to hold out. Started his holdout in minicamp. Don't know if he has the gumption to see it through, given the fact that he might not get a positive outcome. McKinnon was a pass protection back. I don't think Toney can do that. Yeah, but he wasn't really pass protecting well. He was pass protecting as a vessel just to keep teams honest. It wasn't like he was doing good work there. He doesn't have the body type to be able to hold up really meaningfully there, but they trusted him in it, I guess. So you could be right. And Toney, certainly I would agree. You don't expect him to be as good in that role. But the routes and the opportunity, that's exactly what Kadarius Toney should be getting to make the most. Plays in space that he can make things happen with his legs. That's how they've used them for a while. So adding any sort of out of the backfield touches for him would be, I think, pretty huge. Okay. All right, so we got all the RBs back, so that's good. So we can just double up on RB here. Again, all of our QB stuff is going to come up later. We'll go with Ty Chandler for this one. So we got a little Minnesota Green Bay. Again, I'm happy to do the Week 17 RBs correlating. The hope is that one of them just dominates production in that game because of the game script, or just, they both go off in a Breece Hall, Jerome Ford way. I don't think Marshawn Lloyd and Ty Chandler are Breece Hall and Jerome Ford, but two Jerome Fords in that scenario. The team so far is a 1-5-6-1. We got sniped on a lot of QB, but we're still okay because Jaden Daniels is going to outscore Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow anyway. We got Jaden at QB, Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Javonte Williams, Marshawn Lloyd, Ty Chandler at RB. Wide receiver, we have Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, and an added AD Mitchell after about a 70-pick break at wide receiver. Tight end, Evan Ingram, still feel pretty good there that we can go 2 tight ends, 3 if we want. But we're all right now. What's up with Lloyd's injury? Haven't heard anything yet, a hip issue. Don't think it's serious, but didn't get much clarity beyond he has a hip issue. Mike Williams is even healthy enough to practice yet, and wrong side of 30, maybe the wide receiver equivalent of Dalvin Cook. I don't think so. He was really good last year. Granted, to Kellen Moore offense, he's going into a Nathaniel Hackett one. It's a pretty steep drop off in terms of getting guys the best opportunities they deserve. But Mike Williams, I think, look, he can recover enough. And I think he will recover enough that he's going to pull some production off the table. Don't think he's got a ton of upside, but he's, in that range in the 130s, he's fine. He's not a much worse play than Jerry Jeudy. I think he and Jerry Jeudy are actually pretty similar reclamation project kind of plays. It's the case for Danny Dimes. Feels like he'll be limited rusher early. The case is that he might finally be able to force himself to pass more and not just rely on the running. And also the offensive line. They invested a lot of money there in the offensive line. Dable, for whatever his flaws may be, still offensively does put guys in position to succeed. So that's it. And again, this is like make or break time for them where they have to eat some money if they get rid of him, or they can invest in him now, give him one real shot, one real chance at runway. And if he's good enough, he keeps the job. And if he's not good enough, then they go into next year and probably cut him and eat some money and go a different direction. But it's like, it's rubber meets the road time for him. So if you want to make the anti side of the bet and say he's never going to be good, never going to recover, not going to run, and he's not a good enough passer to accommodate for that, then don't bet on Daniel Jones. But if you think that he could be a good enough passer, even if it's not through his own skill, but through scheme and the players around him, I think he's got a pretty good wide receiver core. He's got a good young wide receiver core, fast guys. I think they'll get him open and he'll be able to hit it. So I think that's really the main thing. Yeah, definitely the best wide receiver that Daniel Jones has ever had. A pretty wide margin. Algier still floating around here. And I think given the fact that we have Washington, haven't had any oppo correlation for them, I think we can just tack on Tyler Algier at this point. A little bit of a discount. Not a tremendous play by any stretch, but he finishes the RB room for us, I think. Really weird RB room, I would say, even to my standards of 0 RB rooms. So we have a 1-6-6-1 here. Jaden Daniels is the QB. Still need a QB2 tacked on top. Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Javonte Williams, Marshawn Lloyd, Ty Chandler, and Tyler Algier are the RBs. So got to 6 RBs there. Have some little intra-correlation here with Minnesota, Green Bay, Cincinnati, Denver, and of course Algier correlating with Jaden Daniels and the Washington stack we have. We have Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, AD Mitchell, tight end, Evan Ingram. So Jacksonville mini stack here. Could look for a Tennessee player to add on top of that. Indianapolis Giants could add another Giants receiver on top and perhaps Daniel Jones. We got flexibility here late. So see what we have in these next few picks. Probably time to go up and reach for some stuff if I had to guess. Though we will see. Tyler Conklin goes at 170. Sandals Robinson? I think Wandale is fine. Wandale Robinson is probably competing for some snaps in the slot now. Neighbors is going to be pretty effective out of the slot. Wandale can't really play outside, so that's a tough one. We need the second tight end, and Hunter Henry is here, so I'm just going to scoop that. Nothing correlation-wise that matters, but we'll take Hunter Henry, tight end too. So 1-6-6-2 build here. And same team I just read with Hunter Henry on top. So for Wandale Robinson, the issue is that Jalen Hyatt can play out wide, but should probably be used out of the slot a little bit. Malik Neighbors can play out wide, should be used out of the slot a good amount because that's where he's going to be the most effective. Really, I think, getting the ball, short yardage throws, being able to run after the catch. That's going to squeeze Wandale. You still have Darius Slayton in the mix as well. Slayton playing outside, moves Neighbors inside. Maybe Hyatt as well could be moved inside in those situations. It's tough for Wandale to be on the field as much as he's been in the past. So that's going to make it tough. Still a great spike week guy. Still somebody that Daniel Jones can feed, 10 targets to in a game. But I don't think he's like, you rely on him. Don't think he should be a core part of your portfolio. Shout out Chunk the Deuce here. Good morning, fellas. Sorry for the late arrival. It's okay. I started early, and I ended up in one of the more difficult rooms with Mike Leone just sniping me to death next to me as he drafts every Florida QB. We got 69 people watching. Nice. Hit the like button. Yeah, guys, please do hit the like button. Subscribe here. Of course, every day, Monday to Saturday, do drafts here on stream. Do my best to show my work and my process here that's helped me get to 4 finals in the last few years. And of course, 4 finals being the biggest tournaments out there. So when you people want to be mean to me, just remember, hey, I've done this at a higher rate than most people have. And also, I do the work here, of course, every day, talking about the data, talking about the news. Unfortunately, paying $75 for a new athletic subscription to be able to read their training camp reports every day. But I do that work here. That's the process. The more we know about football from January on, the more we're going to be better in July and August. And that is the difference you'll get in this channel, as opposed to a lot of other ones out there that do a great job, but you know, they're maybe not paying attention to every little thing because they don't have to, because they don't have to talk about it on stream every day. And also bestballoverlay.com. You can see the tool on screen. I have to update my exposures. I keep forgetting to do it in part of my morning workflow process, but team matchups week 16, week 17, spreads you can see according to DraftKings Sportsbook, the team totals here, and of course exposures, which are a big part of managing your exposures and getting that right, balancing it out accordingly, especially if you're putting in a lot of entries. The Best Ball Overlay tool will do a great job for you. Check it out at bestballoverlay.com. Promo code SPLASH on there to get $10 off your first month. Means getting it for $20. All right. Picks coming up here. Easy Luke McCaffrey correlation. Sent it went already? Man, what a world. All right, well, Luke McCaffrey, wide receiver 7. I think we're going to be okay at QB no matter what on the back half. If the FantasyFlock takes Daniel Jones here, it'll also be a funny bit for him. He's the one person I would allow to snipe me here just to go like, now I have a real reason to hate this motherfucker even more so. GM to Tyler here. Appreciate him. Does anyone know if the rooms are softer in MMG's best ball con? Who even is it? What is MMG? Like, what am I? I don't even know who they're promoting anymore, but I would assume that, yeah, it's going to be softer because of the fact it's not a flagship tournament. Derek Carr goes. That is one of those QB outs potentially, but smart move by Crowning here. The Derek Carr, Juwan Johnson late bailout feels pretty good. If I got sniped on Daniel Jones, I would have considered going the Carr backdoor as well to correlate with Devontae Adams. Doesn't happen here. ATX Bearcat says, I think they are. There you go. It's going to be softer because it's not like a quote unquote real tournament. We'll take Daniel Jones here. 2672 build. Jane Daniels, Daniel Jones, not conflicting bye weeks. And hey, you know, my middle name's Daniel. We got 2 Daniels on the board at QB. How could that go wrong? Also, fun fact, Kamala Harris, my birthday. Same. I'm not going to get political here, but interesting note. Also, same birthday as Snoop Dogg, Mickey Mantle, and Razor Ramon, a.k.a. Scott Hall. Jane Daniels, Daniel Jones are our QBs. Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Javonte Williams, Marshawn Lloyd, Ty Chandler, Tyler Algier. Really not the most impressive ZRB room. I think there are ZRB rooms I've built on stream that feel roughly 5 times better than this one. We got guys at value, got the discount on Kenneth Walker. I think this one just really needs Walker to be very good this year. We have Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, A.D. Mitchell, and Luke McCaffrey. So opposite correlation for A.D. Mitchell, Luke McCaffrey stacked up with our QB. And Evan Ingram and Hunter Henry, which I think is enough to be a 2 tight end build. Big discount on Hunter Henry for seemingly no particular reason. So we can live with that. Aiden O'Connell gone? There goes that. What happened? What is the news item here? Oh, gone, you mean in the room? I was like, what? But yeah, look, I think Gardner, to me, if I had to choose one of the QBs to draft, I still would probably go Gardner Minshew's way. They paid him too much money. O'Connell, I think, comes in as the savior, but I think it's going to be a thing like that teams do when they have a mediocre young QB they want to bring along. You let the vet play, you let the young guy learn a little bit more, and then when the vet starts to fail or isn't, is putting up like 90 yards passing in the game like we know Gardner Minshew has in the bag, then you bring it into O'Connell and he's a hero. I think that's the way to do it. Unless Devontae Adams does politic for him, and there's a shot that Devontae Adams might want to politic for Aiden O'Connell because of the fact that he's spoken very positively about him and has been a little bit less effusive in the praise in one interview he did talking about Gardner Minshew. So with what happened last year for Davante Adams, if you watch the Receiver Netflix show, Davante Adams clearly wielding some political influence there. Joe Flacco getting drafted. This guy better have AR. Okay, so he's got AR. He's doing the hedge. He also seemingly never stacked up Joe Burrow. So sick team in the 11 hole. Good job, that one. Scott Hall was the man. There you go. Sacrilegious is in the ones you did. Wait, Sacrilegious in another one? I guess he's just taking the EV of it. I don't know. People are really. I think that's always one of the things that gets me about, like DFS players who I know are pros. Some of the best ball guys now, it's like if they think there is EV in something, they're just going to go do something that might not even be enjoyable for them, or might even be a thing they know what it is. And like they'll enter the free Slim Jim contest and they'll enter whatever fucking MMG best ball I don't know. Like, what is MMG? Like, we have a chat with a lot of people watching right now, and nobody can tell me what MMG is. Surprises me. Which is job number one. AOC gave Adams like 30 targets in that game because you keep your fucking star receiver happy, especially when he's got political stroke. Got Jalen Hyatt here. I do take Hyatt a lot. Could be a rare time to take a Slayton share. But I just think Hyatt's the better play. Fast, year 2 for him. A lot of juice. Downside is that's Slayton and Daniel Jones are friends. They have a little bit of a rapport. But we'll go Jalen Hyatt here for wide receiver 8. Could have also gone tight end. I think Bellinger, if it's around at the tight end room, would have been okay. But Ingram and Hunter Henry feels okay. So a 2-6-8-2 build here. We got Jaden Daniels and Daniel Jones. Oh, MMG's a Madden streamer. All right, we learned something today. Thank you, Steve. Steve, you win the prize for the day. Legit round of applause because you taught me something I did not know. YouTuber with millions of subscribers. I don't know. Does he know that I've got 4,000-ish? He doesn't know me. I don't know him. Fuck him. Jaden Daniels, Daniel Jones at QB. Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Javonte Williams, one of my rare shares. Marshawn Lloyd, one of my less rare shares. Ty Chandler, Tyler Algier, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, A.D. Mitchell, Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Hyatt, Evan Ingram, and Hunter Henry. That's the team. And never been on Splash Play. Can't be that big of a streamer. That's true. You're right. Gamer streamer. Gamers get huge numbers. So yeah, I know. I watch Not the Expert. I watch some. He's not a streamer. I don't know. I don't watch streamers. I don't watch video game streamers. I watch best ball streamers like this stream. And guys, if you enjoyed this one, come back here. I'm going to just do one draft because I'm trying to space things out a little bit more. But please subscribe down below. Hit the like button. Of course, Splash Play now that marched to millions of subs, just like MMG, a guy who we learned about a few minutes ago. But go hit the like button, subscribe. All those things help me out a bunch here as an independent proprietor, just showing you my work on stream here, giving away my EV to Mike Leone, sniping me right in my fucking face here on stream. So please hit the like button, subscribe, do all of that. Of course, Underdog, promo code SPLASH on there, $250 in bonus cash if you sign up. The biggest bonus cash deposit match kind of deal you will find out there in Best Ball. Check it out. If you want to have the data I have on the screen, bestballoverlay.com, promo code SPLASH, get you $10 off. Probably, my baby, want to get better at sports betting, go to probably.com, PROBLY.com. That's PROBLY.com. You get half off the promo code SPLASH. You can also find a 7-day free trial and learn more about expected value betting. And a lot of good days so far this month, even though, candidly, yesterday was not one of them. Stochastic, if you're playing DFS, MLB DFS going off, Olympic DFS, question mark, I don't know. We should have some fun stuff coming with them for NFL season, though. So check it out, stochastic.com, 15% off the promo code SPLASH. And while we're whoring, I'm going to keep whoring until I have no breath left. Drafters.com, promo code SPLASH on there. Great way to support the show as well. The best way to support the show is hit the join button down below. Using all these deals here, another good way to get yourself something while supporting the show. And Drafters, I would recommend 17 weeks, full point PPR, no pods, no playoff pods. So you're getting a lot of great things in there that are different from Underdog, different from the BBM drafts we do here every day. And of course, you can draft along with me here on Saturdays. Thank you all the fine folks who've joined the channel. No thank you to all the fine folks who didn't renew. But you people here who have supported the channel, I appreciate all of you on the screen very much. You too can support this channel and get 10 team reviews a month from me, a VIP Discord, and my rankings that get updated weekly with over 275 player blurbs and rankings you can also export to Underdog. So check it out. Gamble responsibly. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with more guys. So, hey, enjoy your days. Fuck AT&T. And hey, and whatever. Good luck. Bye-bye.